Hey guys, Rich Rebuilds here, and we built an electric K10 for Robert Downey Jr., and I know what you're thinking. How could you ruin a classic truck? But if you see someone, here's some advice for you, converting their classic car to electric, here's what you do. Buy your own classic car, restore it, keep it, and shut the hell up. Some of the best things in life are battery powered. You use several battery powered things every day. Your cell phone, your laptop has a battery, your cordless shows are battery powered, so is your hearing aid, and your wife's vibrator is also electric as well. I know you guys hate electric stuff. We get it. But let me educate you. To the guys with an EcoBoost Ford F-150 saying I will never go electric, guess what? Your EcoBoost Ford will never sound good. For every car that's destroyed making it electric, which again is easily reversible, it makes your classic car worth more, right? Do you even have a classic car? You're just complaining. So I think I know already. Now, many of you may or may not know, we've shot a lot of our best footage on an Insta360. So this is a PSA about a super cool new piece of tech from them. All right. And normally we're used to handling really big pieces of equipment. I mean, massive, huge stuff. But look at the size of this. It isn't about size, but it is. And this is way better. If you look at it, it's the size of a literal thumb. Not only does its size make all the difference, but watch this. Have you seen a more versatile mount or one that can mount to almost anything? No, you haven't. And because of the size of this and the mount, there's now hands-free capture, give you the best point of view, or POV as the kids say, possible. With those variables in tow, you can make awesome footage. And if you head over to the link in the description box below, you too can get your own Insta360 Go 3 and step up your game and video really almost anything. Is that dinky fire extinguisher gonna do? I don't know. When this thing stops going up in flames, you're gonna grab that fire extinguisher and just run like hell. Yeah, no,
I think that's where to put yourself out.
Yeah.
So when you're in flames, you jump out, crawl.
When your pants are on fire. Right, right. Damn.
It's a gorgeous truck.
Yeah, it's a sick truck, man. However, I wish it was. If it was a crew cab, I think I'd like it a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah. I want more friends to enjoy it with me.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, this is like.
Alright, dude. I know. It's all shaved. Oh,
it's
you know
clean.
I like them shaved.
It's clean.
I know. I know. Look at the sizer.
I mean,
I know.
that's something you just don't neuter.
I know. I know.
That's pushing so much air. Oh.
How much power do you think this thing makes?
It's a race engine, big block with a supercharger.
So it makes a lot of torque. I think it makes more torque than horsepower. What do you think?
I honestly think it's probably 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, probably.
Yeah, that very well could be. Yeah.
I mean, just listen to that blower. You can hear the road.
Yeah. It's not loud though. It's not a loud blower.
No.
No. I wish it was loud.
You're not calling, it's very quiet.
Yep.
Like you would never even know it's running, but you're just like, I don't know.
Dude, it has a nice area motive fuel pressure regulator back there too. Oh, baby. Move behind the scenes stuff, because when the film crew comes and do this thing, they don't see it being 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night.
It's nice. The wonderful thing about video editing, you know, I mean, everything looks.
Yeah.
You know, no, it's just a couple hours. They spend like a couple of days on.
No, this is months. Months. So just to go behind the scenes, this took months to actually do.
Oh yeah.
So Chad, give me an explanation of what we're looking at right here.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and crying.
Okay, well let's start with the easy stuff first. Besides the blood, sweat, and tears, what do we have working on here?
We have an AC compressor. So that's a high voltage AC compressor. This vehicle is being converted, so it actually has a working AC
That
compressor.
looks familiar.
It should.
It looks really familiar.
From a Model S.
Oh, look at that. They painted it black, make it look
Yep,
sexy.
Exactly. Well, the rest of the engine compartment, I mean, like the booster and stuff, we want to try to make it match a little bit.
Absolutely, it
so
looks great.
We painted it, and we get some special adapters for that to convert it over to, thankfully, you already had aftermarket AC, so the adapters worked.
Okay.
Pretty much bolt in. Everything else doesn't bolt in.
No. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so like with the Hydro Boost and the power steering, we had to put a hydraulic pump in that's electric powered to keep those running.
Mm-hmm.
We had to build a custom frame here to support our battery, but at the same time, the same frame is also supporting an inverter.
Yep.
And the tail end of the drive unit that we have in here from a P85.
Nice. So we have a inverter relocation kit
Yep.
going on here, which you painted black again, which looks very nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Very, very cool. So what does the inverter relocation kit do exactly?
So pretty much so the way, if you look at the way this drive unit's installed, right, you can see the motor half sticking out here. The inverter would stick out just like it on the other side.
Right.
But there's a transmission tunnel pinch weld in the way.
Right.
And if we were to leave that on there, it'd be like almost in the transfer case in this truck, which is keeping the transfer case because this is going to be four-wheel drive. It would give us almost no room for anything down there. And we'd have to pitch this at a harder angle, drop the drive unit lower,
Yep.
everything we didn't want to do. So what this kit does is it pulls the inverter away from the drive unit. So all these wonderful coolant lines here run back and forth between the inverter and the drive unit to connect it. And then we're going to have, on this side, I don't have them run yet, but there's 3 high voltage legs for the from the inverter to the drive motor.
So all those
bases.
those are just cooling lines going on
Those
right
are just
now.
cooling lines.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah. So the actual power comes in over here, and since our high voltage batteries are going to be up here, the lines are going to come out and it's plugged straight into the bottom of the battery over
Oh,
here.
nice. Very short runs.
Very short run. Yep.
Cool.
Power steering. It's a pump. So it's a hydraulic pump. It's actually stock power steering pump out of a Toyota MR2. Believe it or
Nice.
not.
I think that's a common thing that's used in a lot of conversions,
Yeah,
right?
it's a common conversion thing because this is, it's stock. It's meant to be run all the time. This pump doesn't just turn on; it runs continuously.
Okay.
So it's actually pretty quiet for what it is.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have it switched on all the time. A lot
Yep.
of conversions I see, they have an on and off switch for.
Yeah,
for
I'm
power
gonna put it on
steering,
the switch to ignition, so it just automatically kicks on,
Right.
it's running, and then you shut it off, it shuts off. So
Gotcha.
it's real simple.
but Pretty smart. And then standard 12-volt battery.
Standard 12 volt battery, but underneath that 12 volt battery, bet you can't tell, but if you take a little peek underneath there,
Oh my goodness.
there's a little something hiding underneath that. That's the DC to DC.
Oh, nice. Very well
That's
hidden.
also a Tesla component. That's a Gen 2 DC to DC unit.
And it's also liquid cooled too, I see.
Yep, liquid cooled.
Very nice. Very
Also
nice.
painted to blend in,
And it's black. You can't even see it. That's how much attention to detail there is. It's black.
Yep.
You can't even see it, and it's underneath the battery.
Blended
and
right
and
in.
he still painted it black.
Exactly. So we're trying to make it all blend in, so it doesn't stand out and say, "Hey, look at me." We don't want that. We just kind of want it to be subtle.
Gotcha.
It's there, but you don't really notice it.
And I actually love this battery box. This actually, people might be confused and think this is a part that you can purchase. This is all hand built.
Yeah, this is all hand built. So the battery's going to go right up to the hood line, up to about here. It's going to be a very large battery. There's only 8 bricks going on this section, and
Yep.
then there's another 8 going into the bed of the truck. It's 8 bricks up front.
Yep.
Up front, it's going to be a little unusual. We're going to actually lay them on their sides,
Mm-hmm.
and into the bed, they're going to be stacked 4 and 4.
Are you still going to do the diamond plate? in the
Yes.
back? Nice.
Yep.
It's going to look really good.
Yep. So we're actually going to make it look like a toolbox, and put it in the back, so it's like, again, subtle. It's there, but it's not really noticeable because everybody else has a diamond plate toolbox
Yeah,
in the
toolbox.
back,
Right.
So
Or a transfer pump to transfer fuel.
transfer pump, or
Something
exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
I want to see what color they're planning on making this thing. You know what the problem with this thing, Chad, is? I saw the preview of the color this truck's going to be. And you know what this does, right? You know what that does to me, Chad?
Flashbacks to
That's
Dolores.
that's what color. Pretty much all the RS7,
Yeah.
Dolores. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks amazing. It's going to look good, I think.
I don't know. I really like the purple. I like
No, the purple is better, but I mean, if you're going to wrap it to protect
Yeah.
it, I guess
Yeah,
it doesn't look
absolutely.
that bad either.
right.
That's going to look pretty decent. Yeah, remember, what was it from? That's from McDonald's. Yeah. Remember Grimace? Yeah. I was grimacing.
Yep. It's great.
Grimace and the Hamburglar. Oh, those are good old days, man.
Hamburger.
Good old days. Hey, what's going on here? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello, Chad. Hello, Brian. This is some behind the scenes stuff. This is what we do.
This is the usual stuff for us.
This is the usual stuff for us, but we have an entire film crew here.
I know,
filming.
right?
Well, usually I'm used to this little cell phone thing. That's it.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
no big
much.
deal. It's like, well,
They have these
whatever.
big. Look, what are they even doing right now?
Yeah, this is what I was
They
saying.
don't even do anything. These guys. Look at this. Look at this. I'm ashamed of you guys. I don't know how much those cameras cost, but they're probably more than $300. And I am filming everything on an iPhone right now. Look how much money. Look at this. Just like Chris. So,
My phone's bigger than yours.
we could still make shows filming on iPhones. Look at this.
Yep.
Chris, look at this.
Yep.
Chris and I versus the film crew.
See?
Perfect.
Look at this.
How much money did we save, Chris? How much is that camera? Is it more than $500? Yeah. There you go. There you go.
You can bet.
There you go. What are you doing, Brian?
I am
currently doing. Sorry, I'm not used to you not having mics.
Doesn't matter.
I've gotten so used to this.
Make all the noise you want, man. Go ahead.
So right now what I'm doing is I'm taking our little rails for the battery modules.
Yeah.
And I'm adjusting them to fit the exact width. Because we had a little bit of trouble with our plasma cutter cutting accurately.
And by a little, we had a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble. So I'm just cleaning up these edges and getting it so that it fits the Model S battery module nice and tight.
Nice and tight.
Nice and tight. That's what we're going for.
What's that here? So the good thing about being on a film crew, a film set, you could take all their snacks.
Look at
Got
all
this.
these. Look at all these.
Let's do that. I don't like Lay's that much. You got barbecue. I do need these though. These are. Is this been used?
Looks pretty brand new to me.
Oh, what's this?
Sunscreen. You need sunscreen.
Tampons. You know, you just don't know. You don't know. Perfect. I love film. I love this stuff.
This life is so good. I could get used to this.
Seriously, this is great life right here. You know what? You know what's happening to me? The gray is growing on me. It is already.
I don't think it's gonna be awful.
It's sad. I think if he makes everything gray, including the wheels, it'll look kind of great. But if there's some black accents in there, I think it'll look pretty decent. Hello, Brian. Long time no see. How you been?
Busy.
Working on this beautiful battery box. Tell me more about this. Oh, I like the alignment lines.
You
You
know.
can tell when it backs out. Reminds me of a school bus. You know, the school buses have that.
Yeah,
and
they
semis
have
have
on
it
the
too.
wheels, so you know when they're spinning loose.
Yeah, I think it's the little plastic triangle. They all point
Yeah,
one
yeah,
direction. Yeah.
In this case, there's just so many holes that I didn't know if they'd be tight unless I made some kind of way to, some indication, you know?
I like that. So right now you're working on this main engine battery box, right?
Yep.
That's it. And then this one is the one we just looked at earlier with the diamond plate for the
Yep.
rear.
This
That's
is
a
the one in
two-piece.
the bed. I mean, these all are actually two-piece if you look at them. This one splits down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
They're designed to be modular, so there's 4 modules each. And then you put them together in whatever configuration works best for
Right.
where things are gonna fit. Like the engine bay, they work great side by side like this. But in the bed, this makes kind of a good form factor for a toolbox.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of moving pieces here, but it's coming together.
Well, not really moving, but there's solid pieces
Yeah.
that you have to move around.
There are a lot of individual components. We'll go with that.
There you go. And then this is this is a pretty beefy box to hold that battery. So this.
So there's a lot of weight in that,
Yeah.
and this whole frame needs to sit underneath it so that I have something to attach to the frame with.
Ah, right.
So this is going to be the main structural member of this entire battery box.
So you
when
also
think about it.
need, so this is also going to lift it about 2 inches because you have to get a wiring harness out of there to the bed of the truck. Is that right?
Coolant, the high voltage, and the negative contactor.
So a pretty thick loom there. Maybe
Yeah.
even 2 of them. You might
Yeah.
have maybe power out of one side and cooling and logic out of the other.
There'll be 2 high voltage connections in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're still kind of figuring out the exact specifics for all the coolant. It's probably going to run so that they're alongside it, so they all kind of drop through a common hole in the bed.
Right.
Because we don't want to drill as many holes into the bed as possible, you know?
No.
Yeah, this is the best part, honestly. It should come together.
You know what? You know what's happening to me? The gray is growing on me. It is already.
I don't think it's gonna be awful.
It's sad. I think if he makes everything gray, including the wheels, it'll look kind of great. But if there's some black accents in there, I think it'll look pretty decent. All right, let's fire it up. All right, so you turn the key.
Turn the key.
Display. That's a
display
sick
comes up.
display. That's cool.
You can actually pick different displays and gauge layouts. But
Nice.
I think that was the best.
Absolutely.
Not only that, you can scroll through this.
Oh, all the details are in there.
All the details
Cool.
are in it.
I like the black iPad.
Yeah.
Nice.
That way it blends in nice.
Very cool.
Okay, so brakes work.
Okay, that's good.
D for dumb.
Dope.
We're
Dope.
being dumb.
D for I doubt this is gonna work.
Jeez.
Wow. Okay, here we go. Pull up the brake.
Hey. Hey, you know what? No, important. The wheels aren't just turning. They're both turning in the right direction.
Oh.
Record.
Chad and Brian. What am I looking at here? This masterpiece. Look at this masterpiece. Remember when this came in? This was a really loud, noisy, gas guzzling truck, and I wish it still was.
Yeah. We like the obnoxious
It was fun.
It was fun, right? Remember how ridiculous that was? But you know what? I'm glad that we decided to do a Tesla drive unit and not what we did in the other one.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a big spanking.
It would have been way too underpowered.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah,
So-
this is definitely the right way to go.
I agree. All right, so tell me all about this, Chad and Brian. Look at that transfer case.
Yeah, so
It's a piece of jewelry.
yeah, so it's
practically.
an MP205 transfer case that's been built. So everything in here has been bulletproofed.
Yep.
The gearing has been changed a little bit. So like it has heavy duty bearings on it. The shift forks are heavy duty. Stronger output flanges.
Yep.
The U joints are increased in size from stock.
Even how it was set up before.
Yeah, it's even bigger than it was before when it first came in. So
Yep.
this is completely different. Drive shaft brake. So the drive shaft brake is the parking brake. We don't
Yeah.
have a parking pole because it's a Tesla drive unit. They don't have that.
Nope.
The drive shafts. This is still a stock drive shaft. We didn't change that. The front one we had to modify a little bit and we had to
Yep.
shorten it up.
Okay.
This is completely
this
custom.
is completely
the front
different.
drive shaft here. We
Yeah.
needed a.
Is it a drive shaft loop?
Yeah, I put in a drive shaft loop because this makes me scared.
What happened to safety third?
It's now second, actually.
okay,
I
good, there we
bumped it
go.
up just a little bit.
like
We
it.
had this adapter custom machined out of an axle shaft and put a flange on it so we could mate it to this huge U-joint here.
Okay.
And then, yeah, this is the drive shaft that we had made. I think the guy said it's rated like 800 horsepower.
He said it was. We'll see it. We'll prove that.
Yeah, we'll prove
It- it's instant torque. So
I want to give the guy a call and say, hey, buddy, it turns out it wasn't rated for
Yeah,
It wasn't rated. Guess what?
actually, it's an 801 horsepower motor, so
We should probably order two just in case.
That's not a
I
bad
feel
call.
like that was the weakest link, but we have the specs to reorder if we need to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
we
cool.
We can
Yeah.
do it again.
All right,
and
then,
technically it's kind of like a fusible link anyways, if you
Yeah.
think about it.
so what's this? So we have a little relocation kit going on
Yeah.
here.
So that's the inverter relocation kit we
Okay.
did.
Looks really good. I like the black. Looks very nice.
Yeah, nice.
So
and
we needed
clean.
to do that. Why? Because it wouldn't fit here normally, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Hey, let's
Thanks.
turn that around.
There we go. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So you can actually see, if you look, this diameter here is how big the inverter was,
Okay.
and it sticks out like here.
So
So
with that, it would be up in this floor pan right
Yeah.
here. So this would be like halfway into the inverter, so you wouldn't be able to get that.
You have to
fit.
pretty much massage the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
massage.
Which,
yeah,
which we
exactly.
didn't want to do, right?
Yeah.
might
Massage
interfere
with
with
the
the gas.
sawzall. You have to do it right down this
Yeah.
way and around. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the footwell, so you'd
Yes,
be kind of
Yeah,
like, all
the
right.
gas pedal's right there. So like,
I see, yeah. That
I mean, if we put this in the transmission tunnel, we could do that. Like we could have moved the drive shaft over. But if you think about it, that drive shaft would be at a hard angle.
Yes, it would.
Because these wouldn't line up then. So it'd be at a very hard angle, and that's you don't want that amount of torque going through something at that angle.
Nope.
So doing the relocation kit was the best idea.
Absolutely.
Because of the way the sump is set up in this, we couldn't stand it up on its side or anything.
Yeah.
If we did like a dry sump, we could probably pull something like that off.
Right.
But I mean, it wasn't worth the aggravation of doing that.
yeah,
Better
trying to
off just
modify it.
Yeah.
We didn't have time to either.
Yeah.
So what did we do on the inside of the drive unit itself to make this work?
So because the way this is facing, this is actually facing backwards.
Okay.
So when we put it in drive, it's actually rotating in reverse.
Oh, we have a reverse rotation.
It's reverse rotation now.
Okay.
So we had to change out the drive unit, the oil pump. So
Yep.
it's a reverse rotation oil pump in there, and we had to swap the phases around to make this go backwards.
Gotcha.
So reverse is drive, drive is reverse.
Right.
So on the dashboard, you put it in drive, it looks everything's going the right way, but in reality, it's actually running
It's spinning
reverse,
backwards,
spinning
right.
backwards.
Right.
Because if we turn this around the other way, so if it was normal, it'd be the motor that would be over here.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
and flipping it around 180, now it's a reverse rotation, and the motor's facing forward, and this not fit. So, I mean, it made more sense to do what we did.
Right.
Yep.
So now, when it has since it's a reverse rotation, you have to change the oil pump on the inside. Is there any other gearing that you have to change, or is the motor the exact same in reverse versus forward?
It's the same. It's the same exact the way it would be forward and reverse. We did change the gearing, but that was more for a final drive ratio.
Gotcha.
So we have differentials with the gears in it.
Yeah.
We didn't need a final drive ratio in here, and then this on top of it.
There's actually a lot going on in here
Yeah.
because this is one ratio.
Yep.
This is another. This is another.
Exactly.
And then
That's
that's
very
another
long.
back there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we did is change out the ratio, so it's no longer a 9.25, I think it was,
To one. Yep.
to 1. Now it's like 4 and some change.
Okay.
So because you have the ratio in here. Now, this is a 1-to-1 ratio in two-wheel drive and in regular four-wheel drive.
Right.
It has low range, which then has a gear reduction on top of that.
Right.
So, as of right now, this is just like I said, the 4 and some change to 1, and then you have this ratio to make up for it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put it in low range, now you have the gear ratio here.
Right.
Which is one reason why we wanted to keep the transfer case, because now we have a ridiculous low range with the gear ratios.
And it's 10 times easier to just go right to this than have a system that just goes axle.
Well,
to
here's the
axle.
problem. Like a lot of people do the Tesla conversions, they'll take the whole subframe of the drive unit,
Right.
and they'll just put it against the frame.
Yep.
So it's two-wheel drive.
That's what I would
And
have
it
done.
goes straight to the wheels.
Right.
So why would you do two-wheel drive in a big pickup truck like this?
Doesn't
You
make
want
any
four-wheel
sense.
drive.
Exactly.
I mean, in order to do that, to keep four-wheel drive, you'd have to do 2 drive units. Mm-hmm. Now you get into the
Now
problem.
you have to
of-
control two, and you need a bigger battery.
Exactly,
bigger
bigger
units.
battery
Yep.
capacity, having
Right.
not only that, but now the front wheels have to steer. So now you have to figure out the geometry of how to make those steer with that drive
drive
unit.
unit powering
You
it,
can't
right.
use these leaf springs to do that.
Nope. You have to cut that whole thing out.
Yeah, you'd have to cut it out. It'd have to be independent suspension and all this. It's just too much.
And this is part of the reasons why it took so long too, because my way of doing it would have just been, all right, cool, drive unit in the rear and call it a day. But
Yep.
because
Zip tied in place.
thank you, Brian. I think you say that now, Brian, but when you're at the side of the road because you broke down. And,
Oh, I've done it.
And
I've done it.
All you have are just are zip ties to fix it with. You will thank me, Brian. You will thank me. So that's the quicker way of doing it. You fabricate a rear subframe right here. You drop the Tesla drive unit. It's rear wheel drive only. It does cool burnouts, but it's not really a truck per se.
Yeah,
right.
Then you have to figure out the off-road suspension.
Right.
Which is not really anything to do when you have that
So
subframe.
rather than re-engineering the suspension, the drive line, all that stuff, all we
Right.
did is get a beefier transfer case and then figure out a way to feed that transfer case with power.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I'm still a little nervous because we're pushing a lot of power
Yes.
through one shaft hole.
But as you said, this is a fusible link.
Yeah, well, the drive shaft is.
Right.
But the other problem is the spider gears in here.
Yep.
Correct.
So we don't have a spool. We don't have any of that stuff. We actually welded the spider gears.
I had to get the nickel rod out.
So be it.
Yeah.
I think in stock form, we might be okay because we're not really elevating the power level. We're not pushing more power than it was meant to handle. Are we? Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kidding.
So about
Yeah.
that.
The third party, the aftermarket controllers push more power out of the drive unit than they
see.
do stock.
Forget everything I just said.
The stock in form, you're looking at around 5. This is more like 6 to 7.
I see.
So it's uncorked.
But the good thing is we could turn it down.
Yes, we can turn
Okay,
it down.
good.
We can
Yes.
change the ratio.
We can turn that down. So we can do that, and then that's the nice thing about independent controllers. You can also change the regenerative braking and all that as well with it.
Right.
So we have a lot more control over it. But I mean, we're pushing all that power through
To
one
that
shaft.
single shaft. But again, that's the link. So if we just buy 5 of these,
Yeah.
and we zip tie them in place so they're easy to replace.
Yeah.
We should be fine.
Serviceability.
Serviceability is key.
Yeah. So that's the only hiccup is like the amount of power we're going to be putting through this adapter. I mean, the machine shop guy did a great job of making this, but the problem is like we don't know how well that's going to hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know of anybody that's fed one shaft out.
That's a lot of power going through it.
Yeah.
That's a lot going through it. You're
Exactly.
right.
So
You're
that's
right.
that's my only fear.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
it should hold up pretty well, but I just
As long as you don't get
there's a
too,
lot of unknowns.
only you get
Yeah.
too horsey. Like if you're stuck in mud and you're rowing between like high and low, it's like,
Yeah.
that's going to be a problem for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah. Or maybe towing. Actually, towing something heavy is fine because you have the rolling resistance of the wheels to help out with it. But if
And it's a more gradual.
It's the initial takeoff.
right.
that you have to be
But
careful
if you're
with.
Yeah.
pulling in 4 low, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't do
Well, I
that.
mean, 4 low. I mean, now you're running through a gear ratio, so that one the stress on the shaft would be less.
Okay.
Because you're
Okay.
running through a gear ratio.
Okay.
Whereas in 2 high or 4 high, it's straight driving. It's technically coming out of this and going straight to the rear
Back,
axle.
right.
So there's a lot more stress
Good
on
point.
it.
So
Yeah.
you're spreading it between the two.
Yeah,
the two
when you're putting
axles.
4 low, you're spreading it between front and rear axles.
Gotcha.
So by doing that, you're actually reducing the stress on the drive shafts.
And because of the way the torque's coming out of this is creating more torque, and this isn't having to work quite as hard.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, so let's see what's underneath here. That's the second. Oh, that's the inverter.
That is the inverter.
It's really weird seeing it separate from the.
Yeah,
from the
Yeah,
drive.
right?
It's a little weird shit, and not only that, but it's like in front of the drive unit. So
That's amazing.
It's not even near it. It's just like in front of it.
And then what's this cooling fan here? And is it on the radiator? Right
So that is the secondary radiator for the drive unit.
okay. And then there's another cooling. How many pumps are there? There's one pump.
So there's one pump.
Two.
Well, there's 3 coolant pumps total in this thing.
Okay.
So there's 2 in the battery circuit.
Yep.
There's 2 in the battery circuit, and there's 1 in the drive unit circuit. So the drive unit is, I mean, since it's here, and the radiator is up top, and then you have the little guy down here.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, you don't need any more than 1.
Yep.
But I mean, there's a secondary radiator because like we're not really quite sure, like as you're putting this through its paces,
Yeah.
how much cooling you're really going to need for the drive unit. The drive unit gets hot.
Right.
And like when you're tracking the 85s, they used to overheat all the time.
Yep.
Used to go into like a thermal shutdown during track mode.
Yep.
So I wanted to make sure we had enough cooling in here. So
Okay.
not only do we have a radiator up front with 2 cooling fans in the primary, but we have the secondary little radiator down here.
Okay. I see that. Charge port.
So all the locations you think about the charge port,
Yeah. I like that.
the 1772 just tucked right away in there.
I like that.
And you could probably shoot at that and it'd be fine.
Very slick. All right, let's bring it down. Brian. See, I think this is probably one of my favorite parts of the truck because I hate diamond plate toolboxes. The only ones that like hang over at the
Yeah,
side and
yeah.
like scratches your bed and stuff. But this is slick. This is like a nod to say, hey, look, it's still a work truck because it has a toolbox, but
Yeah.
there's batteries in it.
Right.
Tell me more about this box. What's in
So this is our rear battery box. It's half an 85 kilowatt pack.
Yep.
That's all split up in here. It's actually 4 modules on one side, 4 modules on the other.
Okay.
We have our negative contactor for the pack in the bottom, as well as a fuse for it. Just safety and all that stuff.
it? Okay.
It was quite a struggle, quite a bit of a learning experience, I think is how we want to phrase that.
It looks like you guys sealed it pretty decently.
Oh, yeah.
too,
Yeah.
against water. Yeah.
The whole thing has been sealed with RTB to make sure, because I had all the internal structural components, and then all these are skin plates that we RTB'd on the outside to
Yep.
seal everything in. 8 modules lined up all along this, and then all of our junction box stuff up here. So the BMS, charge, high voltage disconnect
So this high voltage disconnect,
is the safety.
does it shut off both boxes or just this main one?
It breaks in 2.
Okay, gotcha. Just like the Tesla one, when you pull the fuse.
So
it
there's
splits
a positive contactor in this one. There's a negative contactor in the back box.
it up. Okay.
Yeah.
That back box, the feed comes up here.
Okay.
So in reality, when you close the or open the contactors, I should say, when you open it, it actually cuts the power feed to each one. So it cuts one leg.
Okay.
So the negative contactor is cutting one leg, and this one's cutting one leg.
Okay.
The fact that this is the positive and that's the negative, that works out in favor where it's opening up opposite legs of each other. So it opens so there's no constant voltage coming out of each pack.
Right.
But when them together, this will break the 2 in case something's wrong with the contactors. This is in line between the 2.
Right. Don't mess the parking lot up.
Try not to.
I don't want to say it. This is totally candid here. Kind of missed the roar a little bit.
Yeah.
It's cool, but kind of missed the roar a little bit because people know you're coming.
Yeah. That other motor was not
Yeah.
not quiet.
No.
And this one's saying 16, so something's wrong.
It's a calibration thing, all right? It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, this speed. Perfect. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Now stop. Now for this part, you have to drive over. So remember that from last time?
Drive over.
Actually, can you go back and do that again real quick?
No. I need a clean pair of shorts here.
It's got wheels.
How small is this?
So what we got here is
Oh my god.
Mr. Benoit is backing up very carefully.
I know, right?
Nice and straight.
All right, put it in neutral so I don't kill anyone.
Yep.
E-brake on. No pressure.
Yep.
And he's gonna pull it. What do you think, Chris?
This is 43 tons. We better be able to pull it.
43 tons.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
Little ballast in the back.
You want the truck on, or you want it? Start on.
You're steering it.
Prepared to break
We're in the
everything.
middle of nowhere in a desert. I feel like a dried out sponge.
Look how ashy I am. I need lotion.
I'm here with your pops. We're in one of his many fantastic vehicle conversions, and today we're going to attempt the impossible in full view of several hundred Army personnel.
Yes.
We're going to tow that tank on that massive Army truck based solely on the power your father has generated.
No pressure.
Wish us luck.
You can do whatever you can. You can talk. Yeah, we're ready for this. No pressure.
What?
No pressure. No pressure.
Over there, Rich.
Yeah, there's a lot of people over there. I know. I saw that.
They're super excited.
I just want to touch you, Chris. Look at that.
Oh, boy.
I can't feel anything, man. I don't like that. Dude, is this, what kind of round could this thing take?
I don't honestly know.
Yeah, it could take something,
It
though.
could take something. I mean, it's pretty
Seriously.
heavy. They're like, you're going to feel this by the time you're done wearing it.
How much does it weigh, you know?
It's probably like 20, 30 pounds.
Dude, you should start running in that. Chris, you're one of them now.
They said I should go run up that hill. They said it takes 6 hours to go up that hill.
Are you serious?
I was like, no, I don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to. I have a family to go home to.
Right? I don't want to walk across the parking lot much.
This is the thing that gets the tanks out of the ship.
And well, since that truck belongs to someone else, I'm left here driving yet another truck that belongs to someone else. A loaner vehicle from Rivian, since mine is still in the shop. Someday to return me, but in the meantime, I'll be driving this. And remember, go to the link in the description so you too can get an Insta360 Go 3 and make awesome footage like this. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time, whenever that may be.